Welcome back to Breslov campus. Regarding a verse in Psalms chapter 92, the verse reads, Tzaddik katamar yifrach ke'erez balevanon yizge. It translates like this, that a tzaddik flourishes like a palm tree, and the verse continues like another tree, and a tzaddik also, like a cedar tree in Lebanon, yizge, will last, will continue. So the Gemara on this verse has a discussion. You're mentioning two trees. You couldn't find one tree that has all the qualities, because if you look at the verse, there are good qualities found in a date tree that are not found in a cedar tree, and there are good qualities found in a cedar tree that are not found in a date tree. For example, a date tree produces fruits, whereas a cedar does not produce fruits. Okay, a date tree, once you cut it down anywhere in the middle, it dies, it rots, and it finishes. But a cedar tree, you can cut it down almost to the root, and a new tree will sprout. You can make furniture out of a cedar wood tree, but out of a date tree, you can barely make furniture. So each one has a plus and a minus. And the verse is comparing a tzaddik to a date tree, and a tzaddik to a cedar tree. So we see in this, Rav Nosson hints to these ideas, that there are tzaddikim who have a role of being like a date tree. Just like a date tree produces fruit, there are tzaddikim who produce disciples and students. And the cedar tree is where you have tzaddikim also who don't necessarily have disciples, but they leave behind their writings. So it's like they have a continuity of existence even after their passing, like the cedar tree. You can cut it down almost to the root and it'll grow back again. So to a tzaddik who leaves behind his Torah teachings, so there is a continuity to that tzaddik no matter what. It's like the cedar tree continuing to go on and on and on. So now the pasuk is telling us that the one that is in more danger, the one that needs more assistance and strength, is the date tree. Because the date tree produces fruits, but it's called a tamar. Rabbi Nachman teaches that the tamar, the word date in Hebrew, is similar to the word for an exchange, tumura, an exchange. And Rav Nosson explains that to be a disciple of a tzaddik is much more challenging than just to learn the books and teachings of a tzaddik. Anyone can learn writings of tzaddikim. You buy tons of books, you put them in your bookshelf. You can say, I admire and read the teachings of Rabbi Nachman, I admire the teachings of Chabad, I admire the teachings of the Maharal of Prague, of all the other tzaddikim, the Ramchal, etc. But a person is not a committed follower yet. He learns, he reads Torah like other Torah books. But to be a disciple is when a person makes a commitment, that's it. I want to make a change in my life. I want to live according to these teachings. When a person reaches that level and he's ready to be a student, so he's in danger at that point, because in order to leave the domain, the realm that he's trapped in presently, and to become a disciple of a tzaddik, he has to leave what's called the exchanged chambers. There is a realm called the Heichal HaTmurot. The word Tmura, exchanged, is similar etymologically to the word for a date, tamar. And the Tmura is where the person has to leave in order to come close to the tzaddikim. So Rabbi Nachman teaches that when such people want to come close to tzaddikim and be disciples, the tzaddik has to deal with them in such a way that this is the only way to extract them from the realm of the exchanged chambers. And what is that way? Rabbi Nachman teaches that this is strife. That a person sometimes will experience strife, conflict, and opposition from tzaddikim. A person is trying to follow the teachings and guidelines of the tzaddikim, and he feels that he's just being pushed away. He wants to come closer to Hashem, he wants to follow the good advice, but the obstacles and the confusion are just so much, a person feels that it's as if the tzaddik is pushing me away. I'm trying to follow your teachings, I'm trying to come closer to Hashem, and it's as if they don't want me. Rabbi Nachman teaches this is the test. And this is the only way how to help a person to be extracted from the exchange of chambers, the Heichal HaTmurot, and to become a disciple. And this is hinted to in Tzaddik Katamar Yifrach. The Tzaddik, to have fruits like a date tree, has to deal with the person in an exchanged manner also. And instead of showing love and closeness, the person is met with opposition, obstacles, difficulties, and the person begins to feel, I'm not wanted, this is not for me. And the real truth is the exact opposite. And what's the test? To be able not to be fooled into what you see at face value, but to believe that this is really a setup. And the real truth is that the tzaddikim do love me, do want to help me to come close, but this is the only way, this is the only scenario to help a person to get out. And he teaches Rabbi Nachman that when the tzaddikim cause opposition to a person, it's really mitigating and atoning for much more severe situations. So this is an exchange also, to exchange a lesser difficulty with, in other words, to exchange a bigger difficulty with a lesser one. And this is hinted to in the verse, Tzaddik katamar yifrach.